Okay, so it's a little bit of a long story. You can just hold it down on the right to do the 2 times speed if you want to. But long story short, when we had found King, we found him back in June. He was tied up outside of our house and left and abandoned there. So we took him to the shelter to see if he was chipped, to try to find his owners. He was not chipped, so we went ahead and fostered him. We had fostered him for 3 months and 3 weeks. And we got an email on a Tuesday from the shelter saying that his owners had come forward to find him and reclaim him. So legally, with us being the fosters, we had to take him back. They said to bring him in Thursday after 11 and they would start the reclaim process for the owners. But because they're the original owners, they could not tell us anything. The shelter couldn't tell us anything legally. So we wrote a really long letter to them, just like giving me and my wife's information and just in case anything came up or they realized that they couldn't keep him, that we would take him back. So we dropped him off on Thursday, never heard anything. So Friday after work, I called and I was like, have you heard anything? Like, did they get the letter? And they were like, oh yeah, he hasn't been picked up yet. But if they're not here by 7 o'clock tonight, then y'all can officially adopt him. And I was so frustrated. I immediately drove up there. My wife and I ran into the shelter and we were going to bring our baby back home. And they said that the owners had just called right before we got there and said that they were stuck in traffic, but that they could come the next day, which would have been Saturday, by 2. And so the shelter said, okay, but then that's your last chance. So we waited around until Saturday at 12:30. The shelter said that they still hadn't picked him up. And so we started to head there around 1:30, and at 1:46, the shelter called us and said that they had just gotten there to reclaim him. So my wife and I were devastated, and we came home, and about 8 hours later, the owners contacted us and said that because of their living situation, they just needed to have us watch him for a few days. So we immediately did. When we went to go pick him up, he was exhausted. He had blisters on his paws.